Your favorite flavor of tea, a memory from childhood, the sound of a loved one's voice, all of it, every thought, feeling, and sensation is born within your brain. So how does this 3-pound organ generate something as vivid and strange as consciousness? To begin unraveling that, we need to understand a bit about brain anatomy. Don't worry, we're not diving into a neuroscience textbook, just enough to explore the landscape where consciousness might reside. The brain is often divided into 3 main parts: the brainstem, the cerebellum, and the cerebrum. The brainstem is the most ancient part, evolutionarily speaking. It controls your most basic life functions: breathing, heart rate, sleep cycles, and arousal. If the brain were a city, the brainstem would be the infrastructure: power lines, water pipes, and sewer systems. Not glamorous, but absolutely essential. Interestingly, damage to the brainstem can lead to complete loss of consciousness, even if the rest of the brain remains intact. That's a crucial clue, because consciousness isn't just about thoughts, it's also about being awake and aware. Next, we have the cerebellum, tucked under the back of the brain. It's responsible for coordination, balance, and fine motor skills. You may be surprised to know that despite containing over 50% of the brain's neurons, the cerebellum doesn't appear to play a central role in conscious experience. People can survive major cerebellum damage and still retain awareness. But the star of the show is the cerebrum, particularly the cerebral cortex. This wrinkly outer layer is where much of your conscious processing seems to happen. It's divided into lobes, each with specialized functions. The frontal lobe helps with decision-making, planning, and self-awareness. The parietal lobe integrates sensory information. The temporal lobe handles language and memory. The occipital lobe processes visual input. Together, they form an intricate network that gives rise to everything you know and perceive. Now, within this system, some areas stand out. One is the thalamus, a kind of relay center deep in the brain. Almost all sensory information, except smell, passes through it before reaching the cortex. When the thalamus is damaged, people can fall into comas, further linking it to the maintenance of consciousness. Another is the default mode network, DMN. This is a collection of brain regions that becomes active when your mind is at rest, daydreaming, reflecting, or imagining. It's associated with your sense of self and your inner narrative. When people enter deep meditative states or use psychedelics, this network often quiets down, leading to experiences where the ego dissolves and the boundaries between self and world blur. This raises fascinating questions. Is your self just a byproduct of certain networks talking to each other? And if those networks go silent, does the self vanish? Let's zoom out for a moment. In the 21st century, researchers have developed technologies to observe the brain in real time, using tools like fMRI, EEG, and MEG to measure electrical activity, blood flow, and more. These tools show that consciousness doesn't live in one place. It emerges from dynamic patterns of activity across multiple regions. Like an orchestra playing in perfect synchrony, consciousness arises when different brain areas harmonize. And when that harmony is disrupted, through injury, sleep, anesthesia, or certain diseases, consciousness flickers, fades, or changes form. One of the most striking areas of study is locked-in syndrome, a condition where someone is fully conscious but unable to move or speak. Their mind is intact, but the body cannot respond. In some cases, brain scans have revealed rich mental activity, even when the person appears unresponsive. This has led to ethical questions. How many patients might be aware but unable to communicate? How do we measure consciousness when behavior fails? It's one thing to be awake, But what does it take to be a Wenji? At Infinity Beyond, we explore not just the stars above, but the mysteries within. Your brain is the most complex structure in the known universe, and yet it can't fully understand itself. That's both humbling and inspiring, because every time you close your eyes and imagine, reflect, or feel, your brain is generating a universe, not of stars, but of thoughts, not of planets, but of meaning. In our next segment, we'll explore radical theories that attempt to explain this miracle, from quantum consciousness to the idea that reality itself might be a product of mind. Stay curious, stay conscious,